Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Live Dharma. We have friends joining us online. Holly, good morning. Cynthia, Heidi, Maria, Alexa, Rebecca, Michael 형사님, Pete, Lee. Thank you, dear friends joining us online from everywhere. We are grateful to gather here on this last Sunday in March 2026, returning to our inner center, resting in our inner calm. In this bright spring season, time marches on, moving steadily forward, no matter what. I deeply thank you for being here to keep cultivating our resilience and inner peace despite all levels of challenges and hardships in our life journeys. To transition into practice in meditation Dharma, let us slowly stand up and enjoy some gentle stretching and Qi Gong movement guided by our gracious friend, Bob Lemberg.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here this morning, live in person. Welcome everyone at home. And let's begin. It's Sunday morning. Love your body. Be gentle as we transition into movement to prepare for meditation. So find yourself with feet comfortable distance apart. And we'll just take a moment to do an ancient practice. To stand with no agenda. I invite you to bring your attention inside your body, inside your skin. And bringing your awareness internally. You don't have to do anything. And we'll transition to movement, bringing your hands up in front of your body, interlace the fingers. Release the shoulders. Maybe there's a little space between your armpits. Other thumb on top. Interlace the fingers. Pause. Heels of the hands are together. The weight of the hands is doing the movement. Pause. You make some little figure eights. Neither hand is leading, neither hand is following. They're working together. Change direction. Ugh. I know. Okay. Now we're going to rotate our ankles, and I invite you to, you can either be on the ball of your foot, or on the toe. And then so we're just going to rotate the heels and then swing your arms like pendulums from your shoulder joint, like your arms are these long pendulums. Change direction. If you're on your toe, it's a little bit more challenge to your balance. If you're on the ball of your foot, it's a little less challenge to the balance. And shift to the other side. Yeah, looking forward if you can. If you look down, your head is this big weight. It just wants to drop you forward. So if you look forward, it's a little easier. Change directions. Yeah, okay. Let that go. So now I'm going to scoop and press the palms to the sky. And we'll just do this 3 times. Melting down. You don't have to go so far, scooping up. Interlace the fingers. Now here, press the palms to the sky. Fingers can be relaxed. Look up. Look forward. Rise on the balls of the feet. Release the sides of the ribs, exhaling, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Melt. Releasing down. Soft. Scooping earth up with the hands. Interlace the fingers, look at the backs of the hands. Heels of the palms pressed, fingers relaxed. Look forward. Rise. Heels down. Relax the sides of your ribs, shoulders, elbows. Last time. Precious. Look forward. Heels down. Release the sides of your ribs, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Stay standing. So here, curl your fists out. Be small, hiding. Open up the wrist, turn out. Open the front of your chest. Hiding. Curl into yourself. Tight. Peekaboo. Opening, looking out. Long from your sternum to your elbows. One more time. Peekaboo. Hands to the sides. Let's see, we'll do the left hand up. Rotate towards your left. Gently, looking gently over that, underneath that left arm. Breathing in the belly. Pressing the soles of the feet into the earth. Next exhaling, come to center. Right hand up. Same thing on the other side. Rotate towards the upper arm. Release your weight down. It's easy. Gentle. Next exhaling, come to center. Now let's attend to the legs a little bit. If you're in socks, the floor might be slippery, so you might want to be aware of that. So separate the feet a little distance. We're simply going to feet parallel. We're just going to shift to one side. You can look down at that knee, shift to the other side, look down at that knee. So the knee doesn't go beyond the foot, doesn't go outside the foot. You want it right, the knee is right over the foot. And as you do this, lengthen the outside of that foot to the earth. Press that down. And then the other side, press the outside of the foot to the floor. If you want to reach down, you can do that. Give your foot a massage. If you can't reach it, no worry. I've already done this once this morning, so I'm a little warmed up. Yeah, massage the outside of that foot, and one more time. Yeah, good. Come to center. Now we're going to rotate the waist, fold the hips, bend the knees, hands on the waist. We're just going to rotate. Start with the waist, rotate towards your left, center. Your feet, your legs don't move. Rotate towards the right. And back and forth. Okay, now you can continue that, or you can do the next level. We're going to rotate towards the left, bend. We're not going to shift the weight. We're just going to roll our waist to the right, come up, come to center. Other side. Rotate, bend, swing, come up, rotate. One more time each side. And this is all the waist is doing the work. It's a great way to build your core if you're into that. But it's the whole waist. Great. Okay. Let's finish with arms rising to the sides. Come down the front. When the hands reach the sternum, shift to the back. Sweep the kidneys, sweeping the kidneys down the back. And here, stroking the outside of the feet. And you're just going to lift up. Lift the whole torso up. 2 more times. Sweeping down. Feel that good feeling down. Legs remain straight as you hinge up. Last time. Releasing the kidneys down the back of the body. And one more time, we'll just sweep up. Bring heaven down through your crown, head, chest, belly, touch the earth. Let us offer 4 bows to the Dharmakaya Buddha for full grace, either standing or full bows. Thank you.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the marvelous gift of nature and the universe. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, recognizing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to live in harmony and create mutual well-being.
Let us deeply pay attention to our sitting body from head to toe. If there is any slight tension, discomfort, or uneasiness, please take your time to readjust or rearrange your sitting props. Feel your pelvic floor sitting in your chair or on your mat. Feel your spine gently becoming more opening and upright without overarching your back. Hands gently resting wherever you feel most peaceful. Take a slow breath in and soft breath out. The breath that each and every of us breathing now is like different unique fabric. To create this fabric, the different thread, different kind of thread. Some of them thick, some of them thin, some of them short, some of them long, some of them is really silky and soft. Without judging our own, the texture of breath, and be with what we have, and deeply honoring the breath that we breathe. So again, take a slow breath in and release. Whenever ready, breathe out. You know, meditation is not serious. I see some of your face looks very serious. So why don't we all together just soften, relax our forehead, relax our facial muscle. And if your head is kind of leaning down forward like this, open up, lift up. So look at me for a second. You can use this finger like this. Here, lift up like this. Because our head is tilting always down, down. But lifting up like this. Lifting up. And then after lifting up, gently tuck in your tongue, just tuck in your chin just a little bit. And then feel nice, long, invisible earring from your ears resting softly on your shoulders. Beautiful. Wow. Already I feel the difference of the energy in this room. And if you're, look at me for a second, Bob, look at me. If your mouth is like this, lift up a little bit, right? So loosen all the clenching is around this mouth. Loosen up. If it goes this way, lift up a little bit. That means I am happy to be here, right? If you're not happy, nobody forced you to be here, so I am happy to be here. I'm happy to pause together with friends in meditation. Now we are aware the spring season is ready to shift from March in April. So we allow ourselves to deeply be aware and notice the everyday quiet turning, shifting, changing of the time, the subtle shifting of the season every day as we are awake, see, hear, smell, notice. We allow ourselves to breathe and to be here. Feel the grace of sunlight, the air, the chorus of peepers and birds, and the presence of all living beings. We embrace the beauty of this in our containers of in-breath. And we release any tension, or we release this joyous gratitude and peace as we exhale. As part of the greater whole of nature, we again bring our awareness in this breath. No need to change it, just feel it. Gaze at your breath, the rise and the fall, ebb and flow. If thoughts arise about yesterday or days past, about what was done or left undone, we know what to do with the thoughts. We simply notice, breathe out. The power of thoughts will subside if I simply come back to this present awareness, calm, clear. In this way, we together enter a little bit more and more deep in stillness. How grateful we are to practice together. With each exhale, simply let go of any thoughts, any kind of a package of thoughts. In this way, we are together receive a sense of a quiet renewal. Our pure consciousness arises together. Breathe in, breathe out. prayer chant Yeongju, page 4. 전지연기하심저 만사여의 아심통 전지여와 동일체 아여 전지 동심정. Now let us chant in English. After each line, there will be 2 beats that will pause before we go to the next line. Yeongju, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth.
Palms together. Prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharma Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts. Om-Nida, Om-Nida, Kanjari, Kanjari, Om-Nida, Neson Kil Danukot, Nevakil Mamunugod, Nem Song Narichinugod, Nemaun Yamhanugomada Urimodudange, Urimodudange, Songuljejan Inyan
I wish and pray, sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all realms where my heart and mind reach, that we all together share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and for helping all living beings.
Page 9. 이런 성바
Ilwan is the realm of samadhi, beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and laws, the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Till one manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanence, till one unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is, viewed as impermanence, till one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies in the four forms of birth, we transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing with grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore, we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwansanga Dharmakaya Buddha by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan.
Until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan.
This morning, our good friend, Patty Daniel, Hua Tawanin, is going to share her Dharma talk, My Road to Faith. Let us warmly welcome Patty.
Good morning, everyone. Have any of you ever felt conflicted about faith? Well, I certainly have, and I frequently ponder what it actually means and how one comes to have it. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey in faith. 25 years ago, my employer at the time, UNC Hospitals, offered its employees an 8-week course called Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, a program developed by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Some of you may already have heard of him. He was a molecular biologist with a PhD from MIT who became interested in Buddhist practice, studying with teachers such as Jack Kornfield, Joseph Goldstein, and Thich Nhat Hanh. And he endeavored to integrate their teachings about meditation with scientific findings. In developing his stress reduction program, however, he removed all references to the religious and spiritual systems underpinning meditation, and he reframed it in entirely scientific terms, which, as it happens, was probably fortunate for someone as skeptical as I was. Prior to stumbling upon Won Buddhism, I was staunchly anti-religious and deeply suspicious of anything even faintly resembling dogma. Though I did not feel unduly stressed at work and had never known anyone with a meditation practice, I thought it might be interesting to see what it was all about. Besides, it was free to employees, so I signed up. I liked the parts about meditation and mindfulness, but I found myself uncomfortable with what seemed to be somehow vaguely spiritual aspects of the course. When I asked, well, what was supposed to happen in meditation, I was told, well, just try it, you'll see for yourself. So I took that advice to heart and continued to meditate fairly regularly on my own without really understanding why, but somehow believing that, like exercise, it was good for me. A few years later, in 2007, I noticed a small sign on the road near my home. Won Buddhist Meditation Center, everyone welcome. At the time, this Dharma hall had not yet been built. All I could see was some sort of structure almost entirely hidden behind tall hedges. I thought perhaps it was a monastery. After driving by it many times, I finally, and with no small amount of trepidation, decided to attend a Dharma service. I was greeted so warmly and welcomed so fully into the meditation circle that I became a regular member from that moment forward. Despite, however, that favorable first impression, I remained both curious and skeptical. I was uncomfortable with chanting, bowing, and especially praying. I found the moktak, the gongs, and the shoelessness quite strange, and I occasionally wondered if Won Buddhism was some sort of cult. Nonetheless, something kept me coming back. I think it was our ordained clergy. They embodied and actually lived what seemed to me to be a fully realized life of dedication, awareness, meaningfulness, and service to others. I thought, well, I don't really understand what's going on here, but I want to be more like them. I began to read books about Buddhism and study the writings of Master Sotaesan and Master Chongsan. I talked with fellow practitioners like Michael Macklin, who had been here before me. He seemed quite rational and knowledgeable. I visited the Won Institute in Philadelphia and came to understand more about the scholarly and academic roots of Won Buddhism in both America and Korea. I kept looking for the fly in the ointment, but never found one. In time, the teachings, the Sangha, and the Kyomunims helped me to understand that practice is the key. Those Kyomunims who welcomed me at the temple were not happy accidents, but rather the result of dedicated practice in their own lives. And they taught us that we, too, could achieve peace and wisdom through the threefold practice: cultivation of the spirit, inquiry into facts and universal principles, and mindful choice in action. Even as a young middle and high school student, I was always attracted to and curious about people who just seemed to have some kind of genuine religious faith. I went with friends to their churches, both Catholic and Protestant, and to Jewish synagogues, both Orthodox and Reform. However, I was fairly certain of what I believed. I concluded early on that I had no use for miracles, for heaven and hell, or for any concept of a personal intervening God. Religion in general seemed to require a leap of faith I simply couldn't make. These were thoughts I voiced to no one, living as I did in the Bible Belt of the American South. My parents and our family, we never talked about religion or faith. I continued to struggle with matters of faith. It has helped that in Won Buddhism, we don't talk about God or virgin births, yet we share with all religions a core belief that there is something larger than ourselves and that there exists a non-material realm. In Won Buddhism, we call it a noumenal realm, a reality beyond what we can see, smell, taste, touch, hear, or think. That noumenal realm is a counterpart to the phenomenal realm of things we can see, smell, taste, touch, or hear. We also speak of Qi energy, universal principles, permanence and impermanence, no birth and no death. This framing is genuinely helpful. But how is it possible to fully believe in something like permanence or no birth and no death when we are literally surrounded by concrete evidence to the contrary? The flower wilts, the spider doesn't survive the winter, the rock erodes. People die. We see this, we know it to be true. How then does one arrive at an intuitive understanding of felt belief that there is something beyond, something permanent beneath all this change? That is precisely what faith asks of us. And as I have had no direct experience of an immaterial reality, that faith is hard to come by. But this is where practice comes in. With continued study and contemplation, I am slowly moving toward a broader acceptance and understanding of what I believe, not just what I disbelieve. Our founding teacher, Master Sotasan, defines belief this way. Belief means faith, which is the motive force that settles the mind when we try to accomplish anything. A motive force that settles the mind. I love that. I don't really know what it means, but I think it means that faith isn't a conclusion you argue yourself into. It is something that arises when you stop fighting long enough to settle the mind. I think for me, it means that I should abandon my walking around in this world with a near constant refutational state of mind, blocking spiritual growth. Won Buddhism this practice has allowed me to feel more comfortable with religion and spirituality. It has allowed me to explore the spiritual and moral dimensions of myself without feeling in conflict with science or modern social values. It has given me the opportunity to come together in a structured environment with other people to explore what it means to live a meaningful life. We are held together by a common thread of searching for wisdom and compassion. The Dharma, the Kyomunims, and the Sangha guide us on this path. For me, practice is what keeps me coming to the temple, and faith means believing in the process itself, trusting that the path eventually leads towards some form of environment. Carl Sagan, an astronomer and planetary scientist, wrote in his book, The Demon-Haunted World, quote, "Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. When we recognize our place in an immensity of light years and in the passage of ages, when we grasp the intricacy, beauty, and subtlety of life, then that soaring feeling, that sense of elation and humility combined, is surely spiritual." In chapter 1 of the Won Buddhist scripture, Master Soji-san outlines his founding motive, which is to lead all sentient beings to a vast and immeasurable paradise through faith in a religion based on truth and training in morality based on facts. Won Buddhism espouses a doctrine based on truth, not miracles, and a morality rooted in realism and practice. That is why it has become so important to me and why I believe it will flourish in the United States. Won Buddhist teachings are adaptable, free of rigid dogma, accessible, egalitarian, focused on gratitude, and applicable to daily life. That is why I have made Won Buddhism my spiritual home. And I guess you could say I have found my faith after all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Patty, for that wonderful story of your evolution. I loved hearing that science was the gateway drug to faith for you, and that in the end they ended up not to be in opposition to each other. And I love that you were able to hold your doubt and this deeper intuition that there was something more here for you, and respect both of those. So, thank you. For a moment, let us quietly reflect on what Patty shared with us and what has our own Dharma path revealed to us. Friends at home, you are invited to write your reflections in your journal or post them in the live chat. We always appreciate your sharing. Friends in the Dharma Hall, you are welcome to pair up in 2s and 3s to share your thoughts.
Thank you so much for doing some Dharma conversation to each other. One of the practices that we are taught when we are in the seminary training is that if you travel somewhere and you are exposed to different kind of experience about life or something that valuable, some insight, for our Dharma friends, you share. So our friends, Dharma family can have indirect experience about that spiritual trips and or your life events. So we are happy to have a Bono and Drew who recently traveled to different places of the world. So please welcome Bono to share.
안녕하세요. As Won Gong said, my name is Bono, and many of you may not recognize me, but I'm not new to this community, this temple. It's been a part of my life for almost 20 years now. I've just been away a lot. For the past several years, I've been living and working outside the United States as a Peace Corps volunteer. For those who may not know, Peace Corps is a US government agency established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy. Its mission is to promote world peace and friendship through community-based development and intercultural understanding. I returned about a week and a half ago after serving in the Philippines for 7 months as an environmental education and adaptation specialist. I was based in Central Luzon State University, working at their Center for Climate Change and Environmental Management. The Philippines is one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. Between July and December, which is their typhoon season, last year there were 21 typhoons, many of them super typhoons. And at one point, there were 4 typhoons lined up to make landfall. In that context, I used my background in climate change and environmental health to support institutions in developing climate action plans and strengthening their disaster preparedness. I didn't have to do a whole lot because, as you can imagine, they're already a very resilient community. In fact, there was much I learned from them than I was able to, help them with. I also delivered, being on a university campus, I also delivered guest lectures on different environmental health topics, conducted scientific publishing workshops, and mentored undergraduate and graduate students. Outside of work, I had a chance to experience the warmth and hospitality the Filipinos are proud of. I traveled across the country. It's an incredibly beautiful place made up of 7,800 plus islands. Personally, being away from home has been one of my greatest teachers. It has taught me to live more mindfully and intentionally, with a greater sense of simplicity and gratitude. It has also been a practice in letting go of attachments, existing ones at home and the new ones that I form overseas. I have often asked myself a simple question: what is my purpose on this planet? Why am I here? It has to be more than raising a family or building a career. Through my Peace Corps service, I found my answer. My purpose is to be of service to others, to help others help themselves. Serving in the Peace Corps is also my way of giving back to this country, my adopted home, which has given me so much. Helping others is often seen as a noble act, but to me, it is one of the most selfish things we do. You might wonder, how is that? Well, it's because when I help others, I receive so much joy and fulfillment in return. It's a feeling I've come to cherish, and so I've chosen to continue on this path for as long as I'm able to. So this June, I'll be heading to Mongolia for 2 years to teach English and do community development work. And perhaps in many ways it is this temple and this community that first planted that seed of service in me, the importance of compassion, humility, and service to others, which we talk about all the time here. And for that, I am deeply grateful. In another recent experience, I lost my father on February 6th. He was 92. He passed away peacefully and painlessly, and for that I am also very grateful. I have lost friends and family before, but this was the first time I witnessed death so closely. As I performed his last rites, from cremating his body to collecting his ashes, to releasing them in our holy river Ganges, it gave me a profound understanding of death. But more importantly, it made me reflect on how we spend our lives. So much of our time is consumed by small, petty, and ultimately meaningless things that in the end carry no real value. My Baba, as we call our dads in India, was a stubborn man, and towards the end, caring for him became difficult for my mother. Whenever I spoke with her, she would often share her frustrations, but now she misses him deeply. They were together for 60 years. I'm sure she reflects on those moments now, but as is often the case, that realization comes too late. It made me ask, why do we do this? Why do we let ego and trivial matters take up so much space in our lives? Drew and I sometimes argue about small, insignificant things. We fight about them. So I found myself reflecting, and I don't want these unnecessary conflicts or negativity in our lives anymore. And I've told him, I don't want us to do that anymore. We need to stop. At the temple, we often talk about awareness, about being present and mindful in how we live. Seeing Baba's body burn to ashes, everything came into perspective for me, what matters and what doesn't. In his passing, he left me with the final gift, the awareness of how I should live the rest of my time.
Thank you, Bono, for your sharing. Let us all join palms together, have a moment of prayer and silence, sending our prayer energy and gratitude towards Bono's Baba, our Father. May you rest in peace. May you be free. We thank you. We honor you. We thank you for your beautiful daughter, this world. Thank you all. Children, you can come inside.
Good morning, I'm Drew, and I recently retired. To kick off my new phase of life, I spent 3 months traveling in Asia. First, I visited Bono, stationed in the Philippines with Peace Corps, then to Thailand, Japan, and India. I went to cities, villages, mountains, archipelagos, temples, shrines, wats, churches, rivers, waterfalls, caves, restaurants, street food, night markets, museums, trails, footpaths, alleys, rice paddies, forest monks, beaches, coffee shops, and 7-Elevens. I traveled by foot, swimming, bicycle, kayak, motor scooter, trike, jeepney, tuk-tuk, banca, scuba, ferry boat, bus, subway, train, and airplane. I saw dogs, cats, cows, water buffaloes, and monkeys wandering freely. Some days I spoke only to order food. I heard many languages. I tried new cuisines. At various times, I felt elated, exhausted, delighted, dehydrated, ill, inspired, lonesome, lucky, recharged, and replenished. A few highlights. I found kindness, curiosity, generosity, gentleness, friendliness, and etiquette in all the places I visited. I discovered how important it is for my growth to get outside my comfort zone. I was reminded daily of my good fortune in life and at times of my entitlement and neo-colonial mindset. To bring it back to the Dharma Hall, I think of the grace of fellow beings seen in small kindnesses and friendly strangers around the world. I think of meditation helping me cultivate equanimity to be a better traveler. I think of timeless and placeless zone. During travel, I had a more fluid sense of time and space. This felt good and helped refresh my beginner's mind. That is my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Bono, for your report and beautiful sharing. Wow. We feel like we are there wherever you've been. Everybody, why don't we stretch our arms all the way to the side and up high. Clasp fingers above head. Stretch our back, wiggling a little bit. Imagine you are making yourself a little bit, tiny bit inch taller. We get taller, especially those who are not growing anymore. And on 2, 3, we're gonna pop, release hands. Breathe in, 1, 2, taller, 3, and pop, pop. Beautiful. Let us bless one another. Page 13, morning prayer song. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind. May I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world.
As there are some announcements, please stretch your legs, massage your knees. One of the announcements that I want to share is Bob Haddad. Would you mind standing up? Are you sleeping? Would you mind standing up? Bob is offering special Thai massage workshop in May. So more information is available on our foyer. We are so lucky to have Bob offering that workshop.
Thank you so much for practicing with us today. My name is Jen, and I am so grateful to be here today. Actually got involved in a conversation, and I totally forgot that I was supposed to come up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this Sangha. For our Thursday Dharma, there are only 2 verses left in chapter 7, so we are going to start a new book. On April 23rd, we will begin Many Voices, Many Insights, American Perspectives on Won Buddhism. And this book is a collection of Dharma talks given by people from our Sangha. So this study will be meaningful in a unique way. You can buy the book in the foyer.
This is the last call for Reverend Won Gong's April retreat at Southern Dharma. This week-long retreat gives us time to cleanse our karmic energy and dive deeply into inner stillness. Surrounded by the serene beauty of the Blue Ridge Mountains, we will rest in nature while reconnecting with our true nature. 2 spaces remain, and Southern Dharma offers scholarships to ensure accessibility for all.
Next, we have 2 important dates. They both occur in the last weekend of April, so get that in your head. On Saturday, we will have our open house. So that's the last Saturday in April. And then on Sunday, we will celebrate our annual Great Awakening Day.
In preparation for these events, our meditation garden welcomes you for spring gardening. If you'd like to help us with gardening, please let Reverend Sean or Reverend Won Gong know.
And lastly, would you like to cultivate a little more peace today? If so, you are welcome to our Sunday afternoon meditation at our North Raleigh Temple. That happens at 4 o'clock today.
Let us wave our hands to friends who joined us online. See you next week. Happy spring again.